Hi everyone, welcome to the Envelope's Emmy Contenders series. I'm Libby Hill, an entertainment reporter for the Los Angeles Times, and as we get closer to the Emmy nominations, we'll be chatting with some of television's brightest stars. Joining me today is star of stage and screen Danielle Brooks, who plays Tasha Tasty Jefferson on Netflix's Orange is the New Black. Tasty is an inmate at Litchfield Penitentiary, a firecracker with a penchant for looking after her fellow inmates. Danielle, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you. Thanks for that awesome introduction. Like a star, okay.
You are a star. Girl, you have a Tony nomination.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
That's no joke.
Thank you very much.
Tell me a little bit about your last year. What have you been up to?
Oh my gosh, last year was crazy. I mean, we were talking earlier, Chad, me and you.
Yeah, well, our private best friend
talk about glam. And for the past year, really year and a half, I had not really been in hair and makeup in a long time because I was playing Sophia in The Color Purple alongside a year and a half or 1.5 seasons of Orange is the New Black. So it's been a very intense year for me.
Absolutely.
But full of blessings and amazing storytelling. So I had a good year.
Of course. I should mention to fans watching at home, we will be taking questions today. So feel free to ask them in the comments section or tweet them with the hashtag AskLATimes. But for now, let's talk about my questions.
Okay.
So I love Tasty because
Thank you.
everyone loves Tasty.
Thank you.
And what everyone may not know is that Tasty was only intended to be on the show for 2 episodes.
Yes.
That character has taken off and grown so much under your care.
Thank you.
Tell me about Tasty's journey in your own words and how you've seen her change and how that has changed you.
First of all, I love my character. I just love her so much, and I feel so blessed to be able to play Tasty Tasha Jefferson because when I first got the script, I was nervous. First, I was excited because the sister was like, oh, I get a check and I get to show my work. Great. But I was super nervous because I'm playing an inmate, a black female inmate in prison.
Right.
And I was like, is this about to be a stereotype? And so when I went into my audition with Jen Houston, I remember her specifically saying, she isn't negative. It's not angry. There's a light about her. And when she said that, that was the direction I had already planned on going in. And I was like, this, I got a feeling, is gonna be it because also being that I was so new, nobody gave me a script. I literally just had a page of sides, really half a page of sides to work with.
Oh my God.
And so I did not know where this character was gonna go. And still now you don't really know the journey of a character, but it's been really cool to see the growth of Tasty going from someone who you see is running for president of WAC, and running for president and so much life in her, and has this opportunity to take all of her intelligence and go back into the world once she is released, because she gets released season 1, but feels like she doesn't know how to navigate the world. And partially because of her background, we know that she comes from foster homes and didn't grow up with a family. And so you see her struggle with how to become an adult in this chaotic world. So we go on this journey with her. We see her trying to navigate it, what love is and what true friendship is and loyalty, all those things that we struggle with as people. And then we head to season 4 where she loses her best friend, someone who really has shown her what love and loyalty and all of that is. And now it's like, to me, a completely different Tasty.
Right.
And she definitely has grown up,
Right.
So this season, in season 4, has been quite a transition for this character. And seeing her really fight for life is how I think of it. I feel like this is someone who has lost everything worth living for and is choosing to still fight.
Right.
And that's why I love her so much.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's fantastic, and obviously so are you.
Thank you.
Will people be surprised by where they see Tasty go in season 5?
I was surprised, at least by the end. I think in the beginning, after we watched season 4, we know that she's the one who set off that grenade. She didn't pull the trigger, but she said she
pulled the pin.
She pulled that pin, right? So we know how she's feeling, and that has an agenda. So it's gonna be quite interesting to watch season 5. But I feel like a lot of the shocker for where I thought Tasty was going to go definitely ends in the second half of season 5.
Okay, wow. What do you hope for the character? And obviously this is a non-spoilery question, but what do you hope for the character? Like, long-term end game, what do you hope Tasty has when the show ends that maybe she doesn't have now?
I hope so many things for her. I hope for her to be at peace with all of the chaos that has happened in her world. I hope that she really does find her forever family one day. But I feel like she's really starting to find her purpose in life. Right. And it really is stirring when it comes to justice,
right,
and social change, and reform. So I feel like with her, even if she was able to find some position politically, I think that would be incredible, because to me, I see Tasty as those 3 women that started the Women's March.
Right.
I see her as those 3 black queer women who started Black Lives Matter. That is who she is. And so I just would want that for my character, for her to get out,
right,
and all this goodness just fall in her lap.
Right. Obviously, you would never compare Hollywood to a prison. However, it is a place that requires a strong support system, or else there is the potential that it will eat you alive, much like when Tasty went out in the real world without a support system. Who keeps you grounded? Who holds you up when you fall down? Like, tell me about your support system.
I have a great support system. Such a strong support. I mean, first of all, it starts with my parents. They have been just everything for me when it comes to even, showing me that I have a gift that needs to be, used. It starts with them. So they always keep me grounded. And because I grew up in the church, they've given me a really strong foundation, a spiritual foundation. And I think that's important to navigate, because this Hollywood thing is it's a lot. And for me to only have stepped into this is my 5th year as a professional actor.
Right.
It can be overwhelming, and just trying to find your voice and who you are. So faith plays a strong part of it. But I just make sure that I surround myself with people that are grounded, people that will always hold me accountable. And I've found that in my cast, too. Those girls, I love them so much. And I feel like they've really helped me to find my best self, even whether that's in real conversation, one-on-one conversation, or just watching them do panels and talk. Like, I feel like I've learned so much from being observant.
Right.
So I feel like I have a good, strong core system.
Well, so that leads me to my next question. That cast is so interconnected. That cast is. I've never
trips together.
Really, this is what I'm saying. Like, I have never actually seen anything like it. But because of The Color Purple, Tasty's storyline was kind of isolated in season 4. She was off working in Caputo's office and didn't have a lot of full interaction with the rest of the cast. Did it feel different this season? Did you feel like you were away from your girls?
Oh, I did, but I actually never thought about it like that, because I'm not quite sure if, like, maybe they did, but, like, maybe the writers, like, knew I was going to be doing Color Purple, so we're going to put her in the office. But also what I actually enjoyed was getting to work with Nick Sandow.
Oh, yeah.
He was an incredible actor. and he directed an episode of season 5. But to get to work with someone who's seasoned and who's been in this game for a while was just a gift to me. But then, I did later on get to reconnect with my girls, which is always fun.
Right.
And yeah, I feel at this point we're so connected. We know when it's time to like drop in for one another, or when we can have a moment of play, or just our chemistry. We have such a good trust with one another. So I'm trying to live in this moment, because with the death of Pusey, with Samira leaving, it is that reminder that all good things have to come to an end. And I'm just trying to live in the middle of it, enjoy all of the moment,
Right. So tell me about the experience of being in Color Purple, because you're right. You started being a professional actress 5 years ago, and then it was boom, Orange is the New Black, and then it's boom, a Tony nominated
Thank you.
musical. Tell me everything.
Oh, the Color Purple. I literally just I'm a little ashy, but
surrender
tattooed.
Oh my God.
Because it taught me how to surrender. As an actor, we're so hungry to work.
Right.
You know what I mean? But a lot of times, you have to stay still and just let whatever is for you be for you and come to you. So actually, The Color Purple was the first Broadway show I ever saw in 2005 with my dad. And he took me to see this play, and I was just taken aback, because everyone's melanin looked like mine, and they were so professional, and they were telling this story. And I remember them bringing Africa to life. That to me was so cool. And I was like, I want to do that. I have to do that. And not knowing that, I had auditioned for a lot of Broadway shows before. I heard a lot of no's. Even though I've had a great success, I've heard a lot of no's. But for this one, my first Broadway show to be The Color Purple, was so exciting. And I had to surrender and say, Lord, what is for me will be, and I just hope that both what I want and what you want is gonna align, and it did, and it was a very challenging year, but I was ready for the challenge. I was ready for the no sleep, which was literally, I had some days 20-hour days.
Oh my God.
Doing both at the same time. I would fall asleep in the car coming from Orange is the New Black to going into a rehearsal for Color Purple. And one time I remember the driver took me home. I was like, no, go to 42nd Street.
No.
I have a show. What are you doing? This is because I was so tired. I didn't stay up to.
Right.
But
honey.
It's so much to learn. Getting to work with some of the greatest, Jennifer Holliday, Heather Headley, who's amazing. Jennifer Hudson, her voice is just one of a kind. Right. Just into that, I don't know, get to, Andrew McCarthy said this to me when we were working on season 5. He was like, Danielle, your work has gotten so much stronger. And I was like, thank you, but what does that mean? Because I thought I was doing something before. No, but I was like, what does that mean? And he was like, you're using that muscle every day, sometimes twice a day. For a year, you have been using this muscle and perfecting your craft on stage. And it's showing now in film or TV, and it's effortless. And I was like, that's just a huge compliment coming from him, and that's only what you hope for as an actress.
Absolutely. So much of season 4 was sort of a slow build to those final, very tense, very emotional episodes. It tapped into the cultural conversation around Black Lives Matter, around what some would say a broken prison system. Do you feel like that's something that resonated with the audience? And did it resonate with you?
Hell yeah, it resonated with me without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, I'm from South Carolina, so you want to talk about race.
Yeah, right?
I got some stories for you. And I wasn't even born in, going through the 60s when things were really popping off. But to your point, I do think it resonated with audiences. I honestly have to say there were moments that I was disappointed with the audience, to be honest, because people were so invested in Poussey. You hear me? Like, invested. After that scene, I would post a picture on my Instagram, thousands of comments, hundreds of thousands of likes about Poussey, and I would post something about Philando or Mike Brown, Sandra Bland, the list goes on, as we know, unfortunately. And I would not even get a half of the likes. I'm like, this is real life. This is real life. You know, but what I appreciate about the show is you take somebody that might be from Wisconsin or South Dakota, North Dakota,
South Dakota.
maybe would have never known what the Black Lives Matter movement was, never known what police brutality really meant, never known, you had a black friend or went to school with a black person, or anyone of color, or anyone that's different. And now they're being exposed to it. And it's hitting in a different way than it might have through an actual human being. And so that's what I appreciate about this art craft, is that I really feel like it's allowing people to get a better sense of who they are as people, and get a better sense of people that they might not necessarily have otherwise.
Do you feel empowered to use your voice and your platform more? Was that ever a problem for you? Or
it actually was a bit in the beginning, because sometimes Danielle, myself, can be very much like a perfectionist. I want to speak so eloquently, and I want anytime that I say something to be so meaningful. But I realized that's not really me. And that's okay. And because of that crutch, that the way I was feeling, I would be quiet and not have a voice. And being on Orange with so many incredible women that are talking about, you know, whether it's immigration or trans rights or whatever they showed me that it's possible to put your voice out there. So for me, it's, you know, right now my biggest focus is women loving themselves and being the voice of women that are plus size. And that's what I appreciate about the show, is because, you know, you take characters like Dayanara, who is this curvy girl that's this white guy who's fine as hell is in love with. You take Poussey and Tasty, even in season 3, where Poussey is in love with Tasty. It's not Tasty in love with Poussey. So I appreciate the fact that we're highlighting that beauty can come in all shapes and sizes. You know, there's beauty in every roll, stretch mark, pimple on your face. There's more to a person than all of that other stuff that isn't important. So for me, and it's also just helped me personally, like, be cool with who I am and know that there is a place for me in this business, in this industry, because I feel like, you know, we still have a far way to go, you know, and I was campaigning actually working with Refinery 29 to talk about the 67% project. And basically it's a project highlighting the fact that 67% of women are plus size and only 1% are represented in media. And I feel like it's a higher number in TV and film because of the world now. Like, when it comes to TV, we are shifting that, but we got a long way to go. I want to be the love interest. I want to be a superhero, you know, like, I want to do those things too, and I'm more than capable. So that's something that I feel strongly about and have managed to put my voice out there a bit.
And it's appreciated. And that's something that's so brilliant about the show. It's one of those few shows on television that showcases a variety of types and sizes of women, and with plus size women doesn't make it about their weight at all. Like, you're never going to run into Tasty being like, oh, I need to diet up in this prison, because, like, no. That's just ridiculous. But yeah, it's an amazing part of the show, and it's amazing that you speak on it. I know, right? So there was some controversy online, and so because it's online, it's hard to track how.
What's the tea? I don't know.
No, okay. So there was some controversy online after the finale about the show's incorporation of the Black Lives Matter movement, and the fact that the writer's room is primarily white. And seeing that movement filtered through a white point of view, like, do you think that has merit, or are you just happy to get that conversation out there?
I think it's tricky. You know, I don't have all the answers, and I don't know all the behind the scenes.
Right.
Because I have heard that, you know, they have wanted people of color on as writers.
Right.
And maybe they turned it down. And we do have Sarah Hess. Let's
yeah.
not forget.
Oh, no.
Asian American, or Asian. I don't know if she's Asian American, but she's Asian. What? Shout out to you. But for me, like, the storytelling is still strong, and they do allow us as people of color to still have a voice and go to them and say, this part right here, I don't know about this. And they're open to hearing that, you know what I mean? So I appreciate that in the dialogue. I do feel like it is important to have people of color on their staff, but hey, I don't make that rule. I don't make that rule. All I can do is try to tell an honest story.
Absolutely. So tell me, and this will break my heart, but tell me about episode 12. Tell me about the cafeteria scene, and tell me about saying goodbye to Samira on the show.
Yeah, that was a tough day. I actually had to also go do Color Purple that day.
Oh, no.
So it was intense morning, a long day. Matthew Weiner directed that episode, which is an incredible director. He created Mad Men.
Yeah.
And Lauren Morelli was the writer of that episode, which is now the fiance of Samira, or wifey of Samira. But I remember that day feeling very heavy, and I remember us just trying to give as much reverence to what has really taken place in the country. So I feel like, first of all, I just love my cast for allowing me the space to do that and not playing around that day or whatever, just like giving me the space to find it. But it was easy and hard because I know Samira. I've known her for 10 years. So to be able to, you know, connect in that moment that way was easy because I know her.
Right.
But it was challenging because you want to be as honest as you can and respectful to people like who've actually been through that. You know, I keep going back to this image. It will forever stay in my head of Mike Brown's New York Times. I don't know if I can say that in here, but
we'll bleep it out.
At times, I don't know how I do that, but anyway. Okay. But I was reading an article,
right, and
the headline and the picture on the front page was of Mike Brown's father wailing over his body. I mean, wailing over his son's dead body. And what I know in that moment is I wanted to take whatever he was feeling and hopefully get just a glimpse of that, because I cannot imagine what it's like to lose someone that way, your child that way. So when it came to Samira, you know, I just remember saying, this is not about me. Let anything that is holding me back, let that go, because this moment is not about you, Danielle. And what I also remember about the moment was the fact that after that whole long day of shooting this scene, that I got to hug Samira. You know what I mean? I get to embrace her, because there's people that don't get that. And so I'm very happy that it was well received and people understood what we were trying to do and felt the impact of what we were trying to say. But now it's the other part of it, which gets us to season 5 is, okay, now what are we going to do?
Right.
And I don't know, I'm just appreciative to be telling stories that matter, that are saying something.
Right.
especially with the climate of our country, and to be under a leader that is saying that he wants law and order. You know, what does that mean? If this happens again, if a Ferguson happens again, what does law and order mean? You know, so I just love being able to use the art form to get people in dialogue and talking about it and doing things about it. Yeah.
No, that's great. I mean, that's great. Do you think, and this is kind of an esoteric question, but do you think when people die on Orange is the New Black, they go to The Handmaid's Tale? Like, is that hell?
That's really funny.
No, I just with
really
both
funny.
Madeline and
That's
Samira
crazy.
landed there. I know.
I forgot about Madeline.
I know.
She's doing so
right?
well. That's
I know.
crazy.
Yeah.
You're right.
No, I know. It's some. I mean, I'm just saying, it's food for thought. I do have a question from a reader who has we have like serious questions here.
Okay.
Did you model Tasty's phone demeanor on the show off of anyone in real life? Because Tasty has
what
a
the white
phone.
girl thing going on.
If I mourn Pusey for anything, it's because I will miss Amanda and Mackenzie.
Yes,
So-
I mean they just told us to go as white as I could, but I mean actually it was my idea because it's like only in Tasty's mind would she say my voice is not gonna be enough, you know. I need to put on my white girl voice to be a secretary and to seem so formal. Like that's only in her world. So loved it.
That's
It was
beautiful.
fun.
That's beautiful. And another fan asked, what character would you like to share more scenes with?
I love working with Uzo and Adrian. Those are my girls. But I really would love to work with Yael. Because she's, when I watch her, I'm just like, wow. I would love to do some work, but I feel like I would just learn so much from watching her.
Okay, are you ready? Because we have a lightning round.
Love them.
Are you ready? Okay, so I'm going to ask these questions, and you're going to answer them, and it's going to be like a verbal Rorschach test. Like, okay, you ready?
Shit.
Yeah, no, we're not
Okay.
kidding around.
What is it? Hit
Okay,
me.
what was the last show you binge watched?
Oh, moving slow.
Oh, no.
Empire.
What? Okay, good. That's fine. What show would you love to sit and watch someone else watch for the first time?
Oh my gosh, a show?
Yeah.
Maybe Breaking Bad. That was a really great show.
That's a good one. If you could go back and be on any classic show, what would it be?
Oh, classic show. Maybe, Family Matters, all of those, Moesha, any one of those old classic shows.
Love it, yes. What genre would you like to try?
Oh, maybe like Elizabethan type.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I'm here for it. Walter White or Tony Soprano?
Walter White.
Oh, dang.
All right.
What was your first acting job? What did you learn that you're still that you're still using out? And do you remember your first line of dialogue?
Woo! Ah! Okay, first movie show, whatever I did was called Modern Love. Pilot, didn't get picked up, totally failed, couldn't remember any of my lines, too many new elements, like a camera in my face, was too much going on, couldn't remember anything, and I learned, Danielle, always be prepared. Be way more prepared than you ever thought to be prepared. Be prepared. So the next time I had an audition, it was Orange is New Black.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
Orange is New Black.
So you still don't remember your first line?
Hell no! Because I couldn't remember my lines to begin with.
That's beautiful. That's it. I'm calling it. Danielle, thank you so much for joining me today.
It's been
a great amazing. Thank you all for joining us. Thanks for your questions. This has been our lovely chat with Danielle Brooks of Orange is the New Black. For more envelope conversations, check out the LAtimes.com.